What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another special episode with my greatest friends, the greatest minds in the New York tri-state area, Steve Pontecorvo and Jorge Martinez from The Exchange. What's going on, guys? How are you guys doing?
Steve, you want to lead off?
Yeah, we're good, man. A great weekend. 2 wins, 6 points. Crazy Champions League watch party at Veritage over the weekend. Man, I couldn't have drawn it up any better than that, man. It was a home run, as Jumpy would say.
I was going to say, good, great weekend, good things on the horizon, a little break from the MLS for 2 weeks where we have the Club World Cup. I wish I was down at TST, but we're here, we're having a good time, and we got some good things and some good news that we're going to share tonight, right?
That's right. That's right. We're gonna leave it for the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Very special news. But yeah, let's get into it, man. And our New York Red Bulls are on a roll. I mean, I'm gonna call you guys out straight from the go. You guys didn't believe in 6 points, but we got 6 points. This is our third straight win in the league. Four, although Steve doesn't like to count the tie and the win in penalties, but four straight wins. Most of them at home, of course. 3-1 on the road against DC. 2-0 against Atlanta United and 4-2 against Charlotte FC. Well, I'm going to ask you guys first. You guys didn't seem very confident against Charlotte, but we beat them 4-2. So any comments that you have on that game before we jump into the Atlanta one?
Yeah, man, I was kind of surprised. I thought, some of the quality that Charlotte has on the field with all their experience, Tim Ream, Wilfred Zaha, we thought that some of that would show. But really, it didn't. The Red Bulls took the game by storm in the first half on a rotation, mind you. No Chupo starting, no Emil Forsberg starting, Felipe Carballo out still. So this, I think, was the most impressive win out of the two because to put four on Charlotte, which is a good Charlotte side, I know they struggle away. This team has been really dog shit away, but we took care of business when we needed to on rotation, gave Emil some rest. And man, that's the beauty of it. 3 points with your DPs on the bench. You can't get any better than that. Mind you, Wilfred played the whole game.
That's right, Jorge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, was Charlotte bad one night, or were the Red Bulls on? No, all jokes aside, I think the Red Bulls have been on. They're clicking on another level. I mentioned to you on Sunday, is it because this group was a little bit older and it took them a little bit to get their gears going? And now they got their gears going. Now all the oil, all the bones are looped up. Everything is ready to go. So they're ready to rock now. Is that a situation like that? Or, since Sandro gave these guys the tough week of training, quote unquote. Have things been a little more focused on rest? And now we're seeing the benefits of well rested guys not playing all the games, and stuff like that. But they looked great against Charlotte.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
go ahead.
honestly, though, like I said, to contain Zaha and Ajiman, who are two, like, I think really dangerous players, is really good. I know Vargas got on the scoreboard, but we were able to answer pretty quickly with Mohamed Sofo
He don't
and
stop.
Victor. Yeah, right. And Victor Bogarts scoring his first goal of his career. We got to learn how to properly say his last name because I've heard a lot of different variations. So I know I'm definitely butchering it. Something Polish, but whatever. Victor gets on the board. Shout out to our boy Victor, young kid. And then Chupo comes in and seals the deal on 2 penalties. So yeah, man. I mean, our guys just outworked Charlotte. They wanted it more. Wiki had a decent game too. I can't complain from Wiki at all. And yeah, man, I think we shocked Charlotte.
Yeah, that's a great point. And also to point out, I think they were without Tim Ream, but Zaha was dangerous. He's always dangerous playing against any other team. But our team looks strong. Mohamed Sofo, 7 goals across all competitions, man. I did not expect this, man. I mean, give me your love. Show some love to Mo, Jorge. I see you shaking your head.
Yo, I was gonna say Mo and Roger picked out that interview during Coachella, and now they look like soccer geniuses. Um, yeah, they saw something in Sofo, but he just doesn't stop. And remember when he was injured? He
Yes,
was injured for a
groin
little
injury.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of injury, I had to talk with somebody about their injury after the game, and they said to me that they knew that it was a little longer than they were telling people. That they're still recovering, but that's pretty wild, man. That these guys have injuries like this that are still lingering around for a little bit. But it works out because if say we're talking about Lois Morgan and it was 4 weeks, now he has 2 weeks off more, so technically it's like 6 weeks that he had off. So like he's gonna come back well rested.
And it's important that we got the results so it doesn't feel that much of a loss when we win and we're protecting Lewis, which is actually a lot of fans came out on Twitter and said, you know what, it's crazy because I think Sandro had mentioned, hey, maybe he might be playing against DC, and everybody was like, no, 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 keep him on the bench or just limit his minutes because we don't want to rush him back in. And now, luckily for us, like you said, he gets a couple of extra weeks where now we know that, hey, we can probably test him out on the field. And our players have been delivering. Like we just spoke about Mohamed Sofo, Choupo-Moting. We're going to get into the Atlanta game, but 10 goals in the season, man. I think he got something to say to those MLS analysts that try to call him out.
Yeah, give me another penalty shot. That's what he keeps saying.
No, you're right. All right. Talk to me about those.
On the one, Cam Harper wanted to take that one.
Yo, you got
then Sandro turned it back to Choupo.
What do you feel about that? A lot of fans call him out for that.
I didn't like that.
It was the coach's decision.
I didn't like that. Killer Cam earned it. He should have been the one to go to the dot.
I agree with Jorge.
At the same time, though, he likes, it's 3-2. Sandro makes a good point. I'll defend Sandro in this.
Here we go, the roller coaster.
That's fine. I'll defend Sandro in this. He's getting the results done now. He's the penalty taker, and he slotted home too. You know what I mean? No problem. One down the middle and one to the side. He seems confident. Choupo, he has the experience. I have full confidence. Not that I don't have confidence in Cam. He did earn it. But he's one of your leaders, Choupo, Moateng. You got to lead by example, lead on the field. That's what you got to do. I don't care about the dances or whatever else. You lead by example on the field. You slot home those penalties. You take it with confidence, and you show the rest of the team, that this is my fucking team now. I'm Choupo Moateng. You know what I mean? So shout out, I want a quick shout out to Kyle Duncan too.
Oh, bro, you took it out of my mouth, fucking Steve. He took it right out of my mouth. I literally was gonna say, yo, shout out to Kyle Duncan. Yo, shut down Zaha. Yo, been playing lights out since coming back. Good for him too, man. Good for Kyle Duncan, man.
And a shutout against Atlanta.
Oh, bro, please. Yo, shout out to Kyle. 2 shout outs to Kyle Duncan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big to fill in that role, the right back. We really need that. Especially now that we're seeing Omar Valencia take a knock and go down. Our wingbacks are, desperately needed in this system that Sandro has and implements with the pressing and stuff. We're going to probably see some more Raheem Edwards, our boy, but that's okay. We're hoping after this break, we're going to see Morales get integrated into this lineup as well, which I'm very excited to see. But there's a lot of good shout-outs. I mean, I didn't even talk about Mo yet, but Mo is our Rookie of the Year. I'm putting him up there. I mean, hell, he should even be voted in the All-Star game.
Hold on, Steve, but I actually went back, and it's sad, but I actually went back, and he played 1 game in 2024. So he can't be Rookie of the Year. Yeah. Yeah, I know that you had like a whole spiel last episode, and I was like, I mean, I didn't want to mention it in the episode and call you out, but honestly,
no, I didn't know.
Yeah, no, he played 1 freaking game, bro, and that ruins the whole Rookie of the Year. Man. Check it out. Check it out.
Wait, yeah, man. Also, I was wrong with a stat too about Cam Harper. It wasn't 200 games. It was
100 games.
It was 100 games. It was 100 games.
I told you to stat check yourselves. I told you. We got a live stat check right here.
It was 100. It was 100 games, which is still
100. All right, he doubled it up. But he's predicting the future. I can see 200 games for you, Cam Harper. I can see 200 in your future. Don't worry. He's gonna be Mr. 1,000. Mr. 100,000, whatever that is.
You're the best, bro.
100,000 games.
That's
150 though to Cal Duncan. That is official on Saturday against Atlanta United, I believe. 150. So
Another shout out.
that's a great shout out for him. Um, but yeah, Mo is doing great. Just going back to the penalty. I mean, I just want to say one thing. Those are the type of players that you want to have on the team. Cam Harper listened to Dan Edelman. It was like it irked them a little bit, but then what happened when Chupo scored? He went straight to Chupo and hugged them and celebrated the goal. Those are the motherfucking players that you want on the team. Someone who's looking out for the team and not for themselves. So shout out to him. Yeah, I think Sandro, like you said, Steve, I do give him credit for that. You're going to be responsible if we go to PKs against Philadelphia in the U.S. Open Cup. I want Email and Chupo to step up. The first two for whatever penalties. Penalty in the game or penalty in the shootout. Leaders have to show up, and I respect the decision. It kind of bothered me because Cam has been looking for that goal. We're going to talk about it because he did end up getting that goal against Atlanta. Jorge, anything you wanted to say? I don't know if you mentioned it already.
Yeah, I think I went on a roller coaster about Chupo at the beginning that he was the best player on the team. And then New England, they went to New England. Everybody went to shit. They went back. I'm not saying he's a fraud, but at some point, like, you have to start scoring. You know what I mean?
He did, yeah, because it was 2 penalty kicks against Charlotte. And then it was a little bit different against the next game. Yeah. So out of the 10 goals, 4 have come from PKs, 6 goals from regular play. But does he still have something to say against Andrew Weeby, I believe, or the MLS analyst that the MLS analysts that called him out?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. When I saw him in the hallway, the other day, I said, dude, you've been worth every penny. You've been worth every penny so far. And he laughed, but it's the truth. Like, you have been worth every penny to this moment. I mean, what really matters is the playoffs. But if it was about the moment, Red Bull are sitting pretty right now, going into this little break. And he's a big part of that.
Oh yeah, we need his goals. I mean, it's a different style striker. Like, forget who mentioned this. Maybe it was Matt, but we haven't had this type of striker in a while. Which is a big, forward that we can just throw in crosses to, and he can, get some tap ins too. And a lot of those goals, that's what I'm just saying. Like, they're not tap ins, but they're from across where it's like you got to bury this. This isn't like in the 18-yard box. So we haven't really seen him score a goal like Forsberg where he can, make something happen out of nowhere. We did see a good one in that LA game. I'll give him credit on that goal. Oh, that was a quality goal. But yeah, I still think Chupo has another gear that we've yet to see, which is great. You know what I mean? So I'm
Do
all
we
ears.
though? Do we really think that, Steve? The guy hasn't played like in a minute before this season. So like, how much could you possibly still have in the tank to give 1,000 miles per hour? You probably can't.
Yeah, I feel like I saw a glimmer of that. I mean, I know everything was working in that game versus the Galaxy, and they're not a good opponent whatsoever. But it just seemed like he had more chances like that. Like, he was shooting from outside the box. He was kind of creating things off the dribble a little bit. Yeah, we do need him. I mean, we'll take that. I mean, we were crying because Dante couldn't finish anything. So I know it looks easy. Maybe he's making it look easy, and that's just his style too, his persona. I mean, he's not the biggest talker, so he just puts his head down. If he can bury those goals that he needs to score, that's fine. That's all we need him to do, and just to stay healthy.
Yeah. And I think that halfway through the season, 10 goals, maybe he can get 15 and 20 by the end of the regular season. That is still one of the biggest numbers that we've seen from our forwards in a long time. And some of the plays that, like even against Atlanta, I'm like, does Dante Vancier really finishes those plays? I don't know, man.
He couldn't finish shit.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you. So, and everybody was hyped up about Dante when he started scoring in Belgium once he returned, but it died down really quickly.
Yeah, it was a little bit of that playoff junk that was still following him around.
Yeah, there you go, Jorge. Exactly. So, I mean, look, Steve wants to defend him. I don't know.
Of course, because of the goals in the playoffs.
Oh, in the playoffs, he was a menace. That's the
That's
player
what I'm
that
saying.
he was
Like,
supposed to be.
versus Columbus and then in NYCFC, he had a decent game versus Orlando. He did all right versus LA, but overall, he stepped up finally when we needed him the
You know,
most in
you
playoff.
mentioned something right now. You mentioned NYCFC. Um, First of all, you guys losing to NYCFC was exactly what you guys needed to turn everything around the other
Good
direction.
point.
You cannot get embarrassed like that and not show out the rest of the weeks. So kudos to the Rebel for that. But also, I want to give a quick kudos to NYCFC. They just put out a bunch of fields, like going against this whole pay-to-play issue in Manhattan. They just put out a bunch of different fields for kids to play for free all throughout Manhattan and New York and all the different boroughs, which is super, super dope. You know, they're showing the community. You know, we always talk about how important that is, and I saw that today. I'm like, yeah, I gotta bring that up. But they were the Red Bull losing to them was the best thing that could have happened to the Red Bull, because we've seen different Red Bull teams since then. And the only time we've seen another change like that was against New England, but it was a bad change. This one
Yeah.
has been a great change.
Yeah. Good
Great
point.
point.
Yeah.
Great point.
Good point. Good point. And so we move on to playing Atlanta. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, both of you said that we were going to win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said 2-0 too. No, we gotta go back and check the record, check the tape.
I don't know. Knowing me, I probably said a draw or a loss.
No, you said win. You said a 3. I think you said 3-1 or something like that.
Okay.
So we both had a 2-goal win. You know, a rainy Wednesday night win, and then a Saturday Pride night win. Hey yo, they like to win on Pride night. I don't know why.
I
I'm
know
not
why.
going to mention anything about it. I'm just saying, to each their own. We move forward. Yeah, excited for that match versus Atlanta. I don't know why I felt even more confident after that Charlotte game that we would win. Atlanta has been struggling. Miguel Almiron, I don't know where the hell he's been. Miguel, donde está Miguel? We don't know. They've struggled to find form. Atlanta. They win a couple and they drop a few. They did beat Orlando before us, but still, I knew the Red Bull at home were pretty difficult to break down.
Yeah, and you mentioned the home record. We've only lost one game in 9, 1 draw and 7 wins. It's incredible, man. We're back to being a fortress. Jersey Mains, the account on Instagram, they posted it. Shout out to them. And I think I don't know if it was the East or the whole MLS, but we're on top on that record, the home record. It's insane. That was something that we weren't that much strong last year. Now we seem very confident. Now we're taking over. Jorge, you had something to say. I know that you're gonna.
Of course, because last year was like a draw every fucking week.
We didn't have Chubo.
Yo, last year there was a draw every home game, and you would see Sandro every week, and he'd be like this. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You see it every time it's a draw. It's okay. 3-3.
It's okay
It's
for
okay.
draws.
1-1. It's okay. 0-0. It's okay.
It's better to draw than lose. Yeah, he gave us a whole spiel about that too. It's like, hey, we're still working. I mean, honestly, we were missing a lot of goals. That was a problem. Neither Dante, Venzier, all these people couldn't get a goal on the net. But I think now, I mean, first of all, let's give credit to Sandro. One thing that I noticed is that Noah Isla and Alexander Hack together, when we have possession of the ball, we're freaking dangerous, man. Because why? Both of them can just deliver a nice long pass to a forward up top, or they can just drive a little bit because they have that technique to control and give a quick pass or play a 1-2. Credit to him. I mean, that works when we have possession of the ball. Then if they're counterattacking, I think we look a little bit strong. A little bit weak because we don't have the speed with Alexander Hack. But in general, I think the game plan worked. We score early. Cam Harper gets the 3rd goal in the season. Shout out to him. You saw that little footwork? When he went left and then shot it, went straight to the corner. That's a difficult shot, man. What do you guys think of Cam?
Dude, Cam's been on fire. You know, I told him post game, you seem to be in the right place at the right time all the time. Whenever that ball comes near you, it ends up in the back of the net. He is playing like a man on the mission right now. Um, yeah. Killer Cam has been amazing, man.
Yeah,
Been
man.
amazing.
Superman Cam with the diving celebration. He loves doing that. He did it in against NYCFC when he scored that banger that was off the post. So, I mean, was that 2 goals in 3 games? That nice finish against DC too. That was a quality finish. That was very difficult. And then yeah, just being opportunistic, taking that pass, that wayward pass from Miguel Amaron, and slotting it in. And then Chupo and Cam, little gritty. You know what I mean? That just shows that they're having fun, man. This is what I'm talking about. Like, they're playing a little bit loose. The young guys mixing in with the older guys. Like, that's what it's about. Like, there's no hard feelings of who gets the goal or who doesn't. Like, we all just want to eat, at the end of the day. Like, we got a bigger goal in mind. And I like that those younger guys know it too, because now they just went to the cup final. And he mixed that in with a Chupo Moatang. And we see how his persona is. The dude's getting chauffeured, pulled up wherever. I'm sure he's got a private helicopter. If he could park it in Red Bull Arena, park it on top. But you know what? It don't matter. Him, Cam, they got the camaraderie. You can see it right then and there. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing that shit. So shout out to Cam for breaking barriers in the locker room and on the field, man. Let's go, Cam.
I love that. Jorge, what you got to say, my man?
Hey, yo, Steve, you're the man, Steve. That's good, Steve. That was good. He didn't write that, folks. He didn't write that.
Yeah, off the cuff, man.
Off the cuff.
Scripted show, man. I can tell you that for sure.
Off the cuff right there. I do got to bring up something that I bring up every week, every fucking week.
We know
Carlos
it's coming.
Coronel. Carlos Coronel again, dog. When you gonna fucking give the guy the extension? I'm worried. Can I tell you something? I'm worried that they're not.
He's about to pay him himself.
I'm worried that they're not. We're gonna have to sell those jerseys behind you and pay the nut for Carlos. Yo,
Otherwise, he's leaving.
no, honestly, I'm worried that they're not, because I don't think if they would have did it by now.
Wait, I have
This
a
week
question to ask
going
you.
into the break, should have been the week that it was done, and going into the second half or whatever this little crazy part that's about to happen, it should have been announced. But this should have been the time, especially how he's played. How many shutouts is that so far this year?
Seven.
Yo,
And I think
that's
he only
crazy.
had 4 last year. 4.
That's
This season's
crazy.
is only halfway done. It's insane. Jorge, but I have to ask you something. I don't know how many DPs, goalkeeper DPs are out there in MLS. But do you think, like, obviously this is just hypothetically. I'm not saying he should be a DP signing. But do you think Carlos Coronel is a DP goalkeeper?
Dude, I think he listen. Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah,
ooh.
and I'm going to tell you why. You can't ask for more. If you want to talk about DPs, he's earned every fucking penny, right? If he has to get that, he's earned every fucking penny. The only issue that I have is the games where he goes bad, he goes fucking bad. Like, the games where he's not on, he's so
Just thinking about the final, man. That's
like the
it.
final, the
That was it.
derby, like the derby. People don't forget the derby against NYC in Red Bull last year when they scored 5.
Yeah, I know.
Chacho.
I know.
Like, he has some games where you're like, damn, dog. Like,
He
you're
gave the
gonna
ball
be
away
like
in
this.
that one and this year too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
made him look foolish in that one at City Field. But just like Sandro said, he's like, what he did last year, what he did this year, we can't talk bad on him. He's done great, and it's true. But it's just when he goes bad, he goes fucking Michael
That
Jackson bad.
doesn't sound like a DP signing to me, my friend.
And
Yeah.
I bet you this is what they're discussing in the Red Bull, headquarters, wherever it might be, whether it's Mark de Grande Pape with Julian Guzman or
Green room.
yeah, in the green room we call it, right? We know what room we're talking about, but yeah, that's a really tough question. That's a really tough question, and yeah, he does deserve the bag. That's why I asked Alexander Hack, how does it feel to play in front of Carlos Cornell, and he just kind of, told me how it helps him exude even more confidence to know that he's back there. He has multiple clean sheets, and that he could even speak German if he's not hearing him in the first second. He
Yeah.
Good
can
point.
switch up the language, and that goes a
Dunka.
long way. Just knowing other people's languages, and he's good with English too now. And not only that, on top of that, he's being a mentor for AJ. We can't forget about that.
You see,
So,
that's what I think is the master plan for the fucking Red Bull. It's fucking AJ.
mhm.
And I worry because he's still a kid.
Yeah, he's very young.
He's still a kid. Just give Carlitos the fucking bag. This week or next week. Just give him the bag. Let it. You know, when I asked him at the beginning of the season, this is why I always bring it up. I said, dude, you're playing for a contract this year. And he was like, if I did get one, it'd be perfect because I could be more relaxed. And it's the truth. You know, you got to play a little bit right now on a, you got to be intense, but like, you have to not get hurt. You have to like, because you're out of a contract. You got to get a job next year. You can't get hurt. You can't, you know, suck. But you
Yeah,
also like you can't get hurt. That's the biggest thing.
it wouldn't.
So it's a
Yeah.
lot, man. If you give somebody the bag, they're gonna give you everything. They're gonna leave it all out there. You know?
Yeah. Go ahead, Steve. Sorry, I know you're gonna
I
say.
was just saying, it wouldn't surprise me if just Red Bull are just being cheap, and like I just don't know what they're waiting for. I mean, it's not the first time Red Bull Global even has like some weird master plan or behind, Steve Empire for a reason. So who the fuck knows? Honestly, I hope we should pay him. There's plenty of examples of why. Even in the start of the season, he made big saves versus Atlanta. That's why we got that shutout too. We didn't allow Atlanta even to get back into the game. It was 2-0, and we kind of pretty much cruised the rest of the way. And he played decent against Charlotte too. So it was just that one NYCFC game. But yeah, full confidence in Carlos, and AJ's too young. So pay that man, pay Carlitos. We'll sell him some jerk. Like I said, we're gonna help fund him to keep him around for a few years or a few months, whatever we can do. But we'll see. Maybe, like I said, Matty Turner. I don't know what's going on.
You don't want Matt Turner. You don't want Matt Turner. You don't want Matt Turner.
I'm just
Why
saying,
not?
I
Why
don't know
not?
what
No.
Red Bull is thinking. They're trying to retain Carballo as well.
I was gonna bring up that point, Steve, because
How
they
can you
taking so
solve
long.
They're
it? Yeah,
taking so long with everybody. They got to be putting together a plan. Somebody has to be putting together a plan that is gonna work. This is all gonna make sense, I guess.
and it's very hush hush too because we haven't heard really much
But
of any.
everything's been hush hush. Lois
Tom
Morgan
Bulger
being
has
hurt.
been quiet on the Rebels. He hasn't said shit. And we know that they're trying. My thinking is that they're working on another loan deal, whether it's 6 months, probably, or a year, to keep him on the payroll, but under a TAM deal, not a DP. So they want to go for another DP. The thing is that Grêmio is like, yo, from what I saw on Twitter, they need a player of his profile on the team, so they're willing to take him back. But they want to get paid. If you wanted to take him, just pay the money, Rebel. But a lot of people also came out and said, you know what? I don't think he's worth it. Thank you for the 2 playoff goals, but I don't want you to go in all in for DP Carvalho. I don't know. What you guys think?
I like him. I like him.
We talked about it a
I'd
little
like
bit.
I'd like to see him stick around. I think he's a workhorse when he wants to be. Um, I think that in the playoffs, when he was saying he was like super hurt, um, I think at that point everybody's super hurt. So like you got to play through it, get the shot, play the game, deal with whatever you have to deal with. Lois Morgan was playing on one fucking hip for Christ's sake. So like I felt like that's the only thing. Not really what he does on the pitch, but like that was more than enough to say about his character as a player. Not like leaving it all out there. That's just me.
Steve, but isn't he injury prone for the most part? I don't know. I feel like we don't see much
Yeah,
of him.
yeah, because he's injured right now too. On top of it all, yeah, a little testy. I don't know what exactly his diagnosis is right now. I think it was like a hip or a calf. Um, yeah, it's that's another tough decision to make because we also can't really afford to like leverage our midfield on Ronald Doncor and Peter Stroud the rest of the way. Like those guys are going to get tired. And then once push comes to shove and the playoffs are here, we're going to want a guy like Felipe Carballo in that sixth role, or at least have that option. And let's hope he's fucking healthy. I would keep him if they don't have it. If Mario Gomez and those guys don't have another player in mind, then yeah, extend the loan until the end of the year, and then go after another DP. And let's hope they have a target, a solid target they want to go after, not like this loan, because we're just kicking the can down the road, kind of like what you attest to, Christian. But
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just pretty crazy that we have taken. I mean, this is the last month of his contract. He got 20 something days before we know whether he's going to stick around or not. And from also, there's this thing that he wants to go back to Uruguay. He wants to go back to South America. So, do you really want to go in for a player who maybe doesn't really want to be here? You know what I'm saying? So, it's a difficult decision, but he is professional. At least that's what Sandro has been saying this year. And he's a workhorse. He has quality. Some people do question his defensive performance. I don't know what you guys have to say about him defensively, but I do think he's a little bit slow. He has great tackles, Steve. Don't kill me. He has some great tackles, but he could slow down. When I saw Peter Stroud against Atlanta and Charlotte, man, Peter Stroud is making his case to deserve that starting spot, man, instead of Carballo.
Yeah, but also there's a lot of games happening, so you need both of these guys. So
Good point.
before people start getting crazy, you know, think about the injury bullshit that you just been dealing with the beginning of this time. You don't want to have to lose a guy to leave, especially where you could use him. It's about to get crazy right now. The schedule even more crazy, and if they keep going advancing in the U.S. Open Cup, that's just another game. So I think for now, you guys got to come to a happy medium, because we are a couple days away from when he has to make a decision, or they have to make a decision. But I think that has a lot to do with it, because really, who else is out there? Who else are you going to put in there?
Yep,
You
yeah,
know,
man. Steve, shout it out.
my only question is, you think Peter Stroud? No, shout out to Peter Stroud. He does things that other players won't. Right? We love Peter. Let me just say this before saying anything. He has a lot of heart, a lot of drive, a lot of energy, which is perfect for this system. But do you think he could hit a ball like Felipe Carballo did in the playoffs? Do you think that he scores that goal versus Columbus, Peter Stroud? Do you think he does that? So that's what I'm saying. That's what Carballo has in his locker. Like we might not see it all the time, but like I knew that was there, like in Felipe's bag in one way or another. Like he has that quality. So yeah, like I said, if we don't have anyone else lined up, if we can sign them for under that TAM, let's do it.
That great point. I like that. Yep, 100%. I don't think Peter does have that shooting range like Carvalho does. But halfway through the season, I wanted to ask you guys to give me a grade, or just the team in general. What you guys think from A to F? What would you give it? And then just point some things that could probably improve as we move forwards. I know Jorge, you mentioned a lot of games, but your grade overall for this team.
I'll give these guys a C plus, close to a B, because you have to win on the road. Let's just face it. And if it ended today in the playoffs, no matter how great you're playing at home, you're not getting home games. The home field advantage. So you have to start winning games on the road, and then you could be like a B plus team, and you can, once it gets to the playoffs, you can turn it on and win the thing.
Steve, only 3 points away for a top four position. What is the grade for the Red Bulls?
This is tough because I'm between like a C plus and a B minus. I think that's where a lot of fans are because yeah, we're not in top four, but we just played pretty good. We're dominant at home. We're still in U.S. Open Cup. I haven't seen this team in Leagues Cup. So for now, I'll do like a B minus. So it's like right at that like mark where it could be a C plus. So I totally understand that view. 2 points away, out of top four. Our goal is still very obtainable now that we just strung it together, a nice win streak. We're really good at home. I'm feeling like this still isn't even our full team yet, so that's why I'll give those guys a little bit more credit. is that we still haven't seen Lewis. We still haven't even seen Morales. We've seen a coming out party from Sofo and Cam Harper. So there's been a lot of bright spots. We got what we expected from Chupo, a plus. Emil Forsberg, still healthy, knock on wood. So right now, I think we're right at that B minus stage, and we're right in within striking distance. If we can just get a couple more wins in the league, we'll be right at that top four. It's going to be tough. I can't believe Philly's doing what they're doing. I really can't. Philly, I cannot believe it. That's going to be a really tough week in July. But holy moly, Philly has shocked us all. I think I had them finishing like ninth in my predictions.
Everybody that they had to trade or even the coaching staff with Jim Curtin, insane. And they're doing it with one of our guys. You know, they're
I
coaching.
thought Jim was going to take was going to be the NYCFC coach.
Yeah, he's been MIA, bro. I haven't heard anything about that.
You know, I just got a friend request with him on Facebook. I don't know if it's really him, but I have Jim.
He's
Curtin.
looking for a job.
I have Jim Curtin. I have Facebook. It's either people you know or a request. But I saw it and I'm like, wait, this is random.
Steve said he's trying to find a job with the exchange.
He's trying to find a job in the exchange, all right?
Oh, bro, maybe we'll have him on the show one day. Maybe we'll have him on the show. Jim, get on the show.
He's a great storyteller.
Looking at this table though, real fast. So now that we have a break, I feel like we can look at it a little bit more. If one of these four teams were going to drop out of the top four, I'd say it'd either be Nashville or Columbus. Cincinnati's quality, and I don't think Inter Miami, unless they get really sidetracked with all their little side cups and quests they got going on, Miami could end up in like a 5th or 6th spot too. Weirdly, even though we play them like dog shit.
I'm gonna say it here. I think Philly drops. I feel like Philly's gonna drop.
That's what I'm saying. They're 4 points above the team in second already. 4. That's Cincinnati.
But I feel like at some point it's gonna drop. And I mean, Baribo is props to him, great goal scorer. But I think that Philly is gonna go through some struggles after the season. I don't know if they have encountered many injuries like we have. But honestly, like, we've gone through some shit, man. And just to mention, I don't know if anybody has heard anything about Omar Valencia, but we could lose him for 5 weeks. Thank God Marcelo Morales is getting ready to come back and play against Austin, more likely. Again, knock on wood. He's been playing 2 games now with New York Rebels too. But we've been going through some shit, and I think we're still just 2-3 points away from a top 4 position. Philly, when they encounter their problems, I think we're going to see a drop. And Cincinnati, yeah, Cincinnati's a stacked team. Columbus doesn't look too strong to me, man. And Miami, they don't scare me like they did last year. That's just my opinion.
Okay,
We
so
can't play. We can't play versus Miami, but Miami can drop out just because how many games they got.
Good point.
Miami's dead. But Columbus Crew and Wilfred Nancy, you do not ever look past them. They're always like the best team. They're always.
They're missing Cucho, though. They're definitely
team,
missing Cucho.
Yeah, but they filled Cucho's void. Some teams, like NYCFC, lost their main guy in Santi, didn't bring somebody to fill the void. They brought somebody in to fill the void in Columbus.
He performed at the level that Cucho did?
Not yet, but as long as you're still in the mix, once you get to the playoffs, that's what matters. That's what this thing with the fucking playoffs is corny. Because you can, like, go and play great all year. You should be the champion, like in Rio. But, like, you know, the whole playoff thing, you just got to make it to the second season. Once you make it to the second season, and you get a home game or 2, come on.
You know, well, you
still win.
You're still like champion, supporter shield. They call it supporter shield champions if you win the league. It is like to win the league is a trophy, and who's winning the league right now is Philly, which is insane. Like if it ended today, Philly would win the fucking league, which is incredible to say. I would have never guessed that. So Union are playing good. We're gonna have our Philly week in July. July is going to be the toughest month, another really tough month for this New York Red Bulls squad. This month is honestly more the chill month where we can rest up. We can get some guys back. We can put our feet up for a few days here or there. But Sandro said they're getting right back into training. We got Austin in 2 weeks. So going back to our grades, I think the main thing we need to fix, and we can all agree, is our away record. Right? We need to get that on track. So we got two away games right back when we start up on the 14th in Austin, Texas, and then in Toronto to go see our amigos up there.
What about
Yeah,
you, Chris? What do you give them?
yeah, I think it's a B considering the injuries, man. I mean, yes, you brought in a great point. You have to get points away. I think that there have been some games where you could have said maybe the Rebels could have won, but for the most part, they've been pretty shitty on the road. But I think I'm going to bring up another great point that you mentioned is that now you have your DPs oiled up. Sound kind of a little sus there, but you have them ready to play. You have them performing day in, day out. If Chupo is not doing good, email backs him up with a good pass to Carm Harper to beat DC. You know what I'm saying? And he's been dishing great passes these last couple of games. Ponytail, email. Oh, I think he cut his hair on Saturday, but he is taking the reins and he's leading this team to a top 4 position. That's what we wanted. And as long as he's healthy, as long as both of them are healthy and both of them are playing, and we can get decent wins on the road, I think we can be a good competitive team. I don't know why nobody has given them an up on the power rankings. I think New York Rebels right now, they're pretty hot. They're pretty hot. I don't remember the last time we won 3 games in a row. But
Yeah.
but we look good, and we're playing against decent opposition.
Yeah, when I see us play like this, I think that we can, like I said, we can go to a cup final. I fully believe it. U.S. Open Cup is beckoning right there, man. I mean, Philly is going to be our test. And they're in first place. So let's see, how we match up against them. And that's another dragon we need to slay, and some demons that, that we haven't resurrected from last year too. They beat us 2-0 in our building, and those Philly fucks, man, the Sons of Ben. Man, I'll shout out to fucking the Empire and Red Bulls, man. We are one of the most well-traveled teams in the MLS when it comes to away days. I mean, granted, it's not a lot, and not a lot of MLS fans do travel. I follow this page on Reddit that kind of follows that because I think it's pretty unique to see in the States because we all sit in one area. It's unlike everyone else where they all fucking mingle and rub shoulders and hands and shit. No, we don't do that, And even in Philly, we have our corner. So I can't wait to go again to see that game. I'm a little worried. Like I said, I got some nightmares from last time being in Philly. So I hope the Red Bulls can answer the bell and make a run in that U.S. Open Cup. Like I said, it's right there. The league? Nah, I'm not going after the league just yet.
Okay, yeah, but let's hope uh, for a good positioning on the table. I think we can do that. We're on our way. We have defended our home turf, and we're also going to the U.S. Open quarterfinals. Now, I do have to mention the most important thing that we talked about at the beginning. We're gonna have a special event happening June 12th. Time to be determined, but we are expecting to bring you guys, along with Departed Souls, TNV Clothing, and the Exchange FC, the one and only Cam Harper. Cameron Harper is going to be joining Onward with the Southward, June 12th, 6 p.m. Departed Souls, guys. Just anything that you want to comment on this event, my friends.
Very excited. I can't believe it happened, but Cam's the man. We couldn't have chose a better person to get this conversation going with. Shout out to his agent. Shout out to his agency. Shout out to Cam. Oh, man, I'm so excited for this, bro.
Oh yeah, this is what we love. Cam messing with the people. We love to see that. We're gonna get to know Cam a little bit more and have our listeners get to, learn a little bit more about Cam and how he's fit in with the team and what his vibe is like in the New York, New Jersey area. So I'm excited. You guys should be excited. You never know what can happen in a live show.
And yeah, and a big thank you, like you said, Jorge, to his agent, Departed Souls, who is hosting the event in Jersey City, a brewing company, and Cam Harper as well, because he's sharing his time and he's doing this freely. Like nobody put a gun to his head. He wants to talk to us. He wants to talk to the fans. So come out, support. We're doing something special with this show, and we just want to connect fans with the beautiful game. And what a great person to have for our first live episode, Cam Harper. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, and then just to end the show, I want to make sure that you get your time, Steve. Kid of the week, my friend.
Kid of the week. I mean, there were so many over this past weekend at Veritage. If anyone was there, I was a really successful event. Shout out to you two for making the appearance, helping me out at the end. We had a nice little boutique set up inside of Veritage. Had the Champions League final on. You know, got a good crowd in there. Got to meet a lot of new people, some collectors, some people involved in the soccer community. Some people were just there in the day, like Backyard Cinemas, some of the pizza guys, you know, Neil. Everybody was meeting a lot of names, you know what I mean? It's hard to remember everything. But yeah, man, it was fucking exciting. Everyone got, got some dope shirts, had a lot of crazy shirts like the one I'm wearing. I got some other ones here too. You know, the carousel keeps moving. We got to keep it moving. Like always, I got some, I got a little mixture of both. Shout out New England. Shout out Reebok, a little Bolton Reebok, and you got some, throwback New England Revs.
Nice.
These are my two kits of the week, both in the same color realm.
I love
That's
it.
special shout out to Reebok making their appearance back in the soccer kit world. They are going to be manufacturing the kits for Charlton Athletic, who just got promoted to the championship. So Reebok back to making soccer kits. Shout out to them. They got some classic ones. And come out to Departed Souls, man. Maybe I'm gonna pull up, have a special rack just of my top 20, shirts. Maybe I'll sell one or two. Maybe something like this. We'll see how I'm feeling on the day. I'll sell the shirt off my back. Just make me an offer.
Jorge.
Listen, man, I'm excited for this. We gotta tell a friend to tell a friend. If you could get in the building, and if it's not sold out, get in there. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk to Cam, talk to the people. If you aren't gonna come, shoot us some questions, and we'll bring them up we'll bring them up. We'll post that up, or South World will post that up in a story. Send us some of your questions, and we'll use that. Man, this weekend was great. If this weekend was anything of what could possibly be, we're in for an amazing night.
That's right, guys. And I think both of you said it all. Thank you to all the listeners, to all the people that show love to Jorge Martinez from the Exchange FC, the Steve Pontecorvo TNV Clothing. Man, after that weekend, I think he's buying us drinks for the next episode. But thank you guys. And we hope to see you. I think we're not going to record until the event. So we're going to promote this event a lot.
Or maybe we should do one on Monday to remind everybody that in a few days, it's time to see Cam.
Stand on business. I love it. I love it. All right. And that's it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you in the next one.
Kill a Cam, baby. Kill a Cam.